With over 5,000 square feet of modern style, designed for entertaining with an expansive kitchen, two-story great room with floor-to-ceiling windows, lower-level lounge, business room, and outdoor living space. Buy now at CalgaryHospitalHomeLottery.com. For 70% of your assignment, pay was complete. You're on Sportsnet 960 The Fan. Harrison Experience on the Infinity Sports Network. Good morning. Welcome into the Harrison Experience on the Infinity Sports Network. My name is Harrison Harrison. Happy to be here with you guys on this wonderful Saturday. Let me read you a tweet. This is from Elliott Shore Park. The Eagles have a chance to essentially kill off the Chiefs' defeats this weekend. It won't kill their season, but if the Chiefs drop to 0-2 after getting smoked in the Super Bowl and having
actually, I might need to come sit up there.
The aura of the Chiefs will fade when he's being gone.
So I think I need to pull up there.
Hey,
just to reach far corner.
Thanks for having me on. Excited as always to talk to you. Yeah, I mean, I think that's just the reality of where the Chiefs are at. They're obviously one of the best dynasties in NFL history. I think that Andy and Excavator have a very strong argument for being the top quarterback head coach duo in the league. But I think Chiefs fans also need to be honest about what the product on the field has looked like for the past year. If the Chiefs look, after last year they did not play well overall, I think you would probably agree with that. A lot of one-score games, a lot of games that, you're probably not going to win consistently, and they did it. And credit to them for that. But they have not looked like a dominant team for a long time. And the biggest game last year, they got absolutely embarrassed. They went to Brazil last week and lost to a Chargers team that consistently loses big games. And if they lose the home opener, get a chance to even up their record of going 0-2, I don't think they have that mystique anymore. I'd probably be more afraid to go play Buffalo. I might be more afraid to go play Baltimore, and that hasn't been the case for a really long time. So I really think this Sunday is about seeing if the Chiefs are still the Chiefs, or if they're just a team with a good quarterback and head coach and a bad roster.
Last year, you were pretty emphatic that the Eagles had a better roster that could win the Super Bowl comfortably. I don't think either of us saw the Super Bowl playing out the way it did, but you were pretty emphatic that the Eagles were the better team. These teams are largely the same. Do you feel that way heading into this matchup? Do you see a place where Kansas City has the advantage outside of being close of this game against Philadelphia?
Yeah, I think, look, the Chiefs have, in my opinion, 5 great players. They have Trent McDuffie, Chris Jones, George Karlaftis, Patrick Mahomes, and, I think Travis Kelce Silver. Creed Humphrey. Creed Humphrey, I would say, is the fifth great player on the roster. And that can be enough to keep them competitive. But if you look at the two teams, the Eagles have far and away the best roster. Like, they have so much more talent than the Chiefs do. I mean, Mahomes will probably kill to play for the Eagles as opposed to dealing with the players he has on the Kansas City roster. So I think there's still a big gap in terms of talent. short part of offense. I'll also obviously agree with Blair. I think both of them along the line combined can give the Eagles some problems, but outside of that, no, I mean, the team's receivers aren't that great, their secondary's not that great, the Eagles have outstanding skill players, so I think the team really just have to hope that Steve Spagnuolo and Andy Reid have an outstanding game plan, and that Patrick Mahomes can do Patrick Mahomes.
We're talking to Elliot Shore Park, breaking down the Chiefs and Eagle matchup. He covers the Eagles for WIP out in Philadelphia. A lot of controversy centered around Jalen Carter. I think the balance is fair. I understand the argument that being ejected is not a suspension, but it's playing week one and they took a game check away from him. That seems like a fair penalty to me. Do you think justice was served, so to speak, with him being able to play in week 2?
I think you can make an argument that justice was served, but I think that the punishment in some ways really didn't fit for him. I think if I'm the Eagles, I think for the Eagles, it is a great chance to really send a message early on to this team that discipline is crucial. It's taking and making sure your emotions are kept in check is crucial. The Eagles have a roster that's good enough to beat any team in the NFL on any given Sunday. The way they'll lose is by making mistakes and letting their emotions get the best of them. So for the Eagles, I think that, I would maybe go further with the actions towards Jalen Carter. In terms of the NFL, I think a little bit too. Like, they talked a big game all offseason about how on-the-field stuff is serious to try to get this stuff back in the game, and that they essentially use the technicality to make enough plays. I get a chance to be around Jalen Carter as someone that covers the team. He's been, from my experiences, a great player for us. I think there's an outstanding future ahead of him. But in terms of this incident, it did feel like he probably got off a little bit.
Another story for week one for the Eagles is the lack of A.J. Brown. He only got one target, one catch in the game. What was the conversation around A.J. Brown this week? Do you expect them to try to go to him early and often to get him involved in the offense on Sunday?
Yeah, I think they will. Whenever you have the amount of talent the Eagles have on offense, if one player can get the ball, it's going to be a big story. I remember in 2022, Devontae Smith didn't have a single catch against Detroit in week 1, and he had a monster game in game 2. So this is something the Eagles are used to. I would expect A.J. Brown to have a great game. Now, look, if we put Trent McDuffie on him and make their whole game plan to stop him, then that's going to impact it. But the Eagles then have Devontae, they have Saquon Barkley. It doesn't seem like Dallas Goedert will play, so they will be without him. But A.J. Brown's an outstanding player, and they absolutely have to make sure he gets the ball in the league.
I think most people agree on who the top 4 quarterbacks are in the National Football League. I don't agree on the order, but I think most people have the same consensus for. The conversation really starts at 5. Do you think Jalen Hurts is the 5th best quarterback in the league, or who would be in that spot if not him?
I think he's the second best quarterback in the league, and if he wins the Super Bowl this year, I think he passes Mahomes in the current ranking. I don't see how a quarterback that's won back-to-back Super Bowls, wins 80% of his games, and wins big games all the time, wouldn't be the best quarterback in the NFL if he were able to win the Super Bowl. So we'll see if they can do it, but as for right now, I think he should be number 2. He has a ring that those other players do not, and people will say, well, they do more for their team. Maybe, but Jalen does a lot of really important things for the Eagles that team players have found out in the past season. He takes care of the ball. He makes huge plays on 3rd and 4th down. He's maybe the best quarterback in the NFL. So is he as talented as Josh Allen? Maybe not. They're outstanding quarterbacks, but the results speak for themselves. And I would also say, like, when it comes to Mahomes is an unbelievable talent. But I would say the talent discrepancy between him, Josh Allen, and Lamar, it's not huge. The reason Mahomes is in at number 1 is because he has Super Bowl. So if that's going to be your logic for making Mahomes number 1, I don't see how Jalen would be anything other than number 2.
The thing I appreciate about Jalen Hurts, and I think that last Thursday was an example, he was a numbers 1 guy. Another one of those 300-yard passes. He ran 400 yards. Well, I think Jalen Hurts a lot of credit is when a play needs to be made from the Eagles, or more specifically from him, he usually has to spin that game on 3rd down using his legs, scoring a touchdown. To me, I don't think he gets nearly enough credit, and to me, you give a little bit too much credit to the roster to take away from his successes.
You're not going to cut it, just let me cut it.
There haven't been truly better quarterbacks in the NFL when their back is up against the wall to make the play.
Yeah, I mean, I would also say that, and I'm sure you would agree with this from our time covering the league and watching the NFL, your team is almost always disappointed your quarterback. Like, it is what it is, right? like the Eagles have in terms of you view it as a car. Like they have elite parts, like a shiny outside, great tires, and awesome sound system. But if your engine is not great, and Jalen is the engine like any quarterback is, it really doesn't matter. So right now, the reason the Eagles win is Jalen Hurts. Does he have help? Absolutely he has help. But you don't win in the NFL if you don't get high-level quarterback play, and they're absolutely getting elite high-level quarterback play from Jalen.
Where do you feel the Eagles are most vulnerable? Because the offense is largely the same from last year. You mentioned a couple of injuries, but the core of that team is the one that we've seen for the last 12 months or so. They've had a little bit of turnover on defense. They've lost some key pieces. Where do you think the Eagles are most vulnerable this season?
I think without question, the place where the Eagles can get hurt is the second cornerback spot. Quinyon Mitchell, I know he's only in his second year, but he's proven to be one of the better corners in the NFL. Cooper Dedeen is really good. But at the number 2 quarterback spot, they lost Darius Slay, who was a good player for them last year. Their plan is to start Dory Jackson this upcoming Sunday. He didn't have a great game against Dallas. So that would be the spot. Now, the issue is the Chiefs don't really have any good receivers, especially with Xavier Worthy out and seemingly out. Maybe you would know more about that than me. And then also receive right team suspended. So the Eagles' weakness is definitely that cornerback spot. I just don't know if the Chiefs have the players to exploit it.
We always ask people this. Give me your Chiefs win if scenario. Give me your Eagles win if scenario on Sunday.
I think the Chiefs win if they're still the Chiefs. Like, if they're still a great team, if they're still a team people need to worry about, if they're still a Super Bowl contender, then they win on Sunday. You don't drop to 0-2 and lose your home opener if you're a true Super Bowl contender. So the Chiefs win if they show up, if they are the Chiefs. I think that's how they win the game. The Eagles win if the Chiefs play like they have last year. If the Chiefs play, kind of sloppy football, they're not going to put a ton of points up on offense. The Eagles are just a way, way better roster. We saw that in the Super Bowl. So the Chiefs absolutely have to bring their A game. If the Eagles bring their C game, if the Chiefs could win, I just think the spot is so advantageous for Kansas City that I think the division is too low at the game.
I'll get you out of here with this last question. Who do you see as the biggest contender to the Eagles in the NFC? The AFC is pretty straightforward. You got Kansas City, Baltimore, Buffalo, all fighting for the top. That's not how we view the NFC. Who do you see as the biggest threat, the biggest challenger to Philadelphia?
I think it's definitely the Packers, especially after the acquisition of Michael Parsons. I think the Packers were already Super Bowl contenders. They have a really solid roster. They don't have a ton of weaknesses. They have a lot of good receivers, like very good receivers. Jordan Love has shown he can win in the playoffs, and they're battle tested. So they have Michael Parsons to that, and I think they're a clear-cut challenger to the Eagles in the NFC.
That is Elliot Shore-Park joining us on the show. He covers the Philadelphia Eagles for WIP out in Philadelphia. A Super Bowl rematch in Week 2 between the Chiefs and the Eagles. Elliot, great stuff, man. Always appreciate catching up with you.
Yeah, always very good.
I disagree with Elliot that Jalen Hurts is the second best quarterback in the league, but I do think that people kind of move the goalpost when we are defining what makes a quarterback great. And maybe this is just from where I live, but I hear about Joe Burrow. Man, you went to that one Super Bowl 2 years ago. Your team hasn't made the postseason. That's a criticism that people have about Burrow. Hey, how long are you going to live off the accomplishment of what you did a couple of years ago? Josh Allen never beat Patrick Mahomes, never been to the Super Bowl, never beat them in the postseason. Lamar Jackson, exact same boat. Hurts has done both of those things. He's been great. He's been very clutch. He played well in the Super Bowl. Like, Jalen Hurts checked a lot of the boxes that people tell you they want their quarterback to check. But then when it comes to him, it's like, oh, the roster's too good. Oh, we got carries. Oh, it's the tush push. The way that we discuss Jalen Hurts is just very different than the way that we discuss some of the other quarterbacks in the league. I don't know why that is. It's just something that is very, very interesting to me. We got a lot.
We just mixing or what?
It is a championship Saturday. We got a big time fight coming up later today. Let's get you updated on everything going on today with my guy Gordon Damer. Infinity Sports Network. The Sports Flash is sponsored by Progressive Commercial Insurance, protecting your business vehicles.
Welcome, everybody. Thanks, Gabe, man. Fuck yeah, this is Saturday. This is Calgary, Alberta. I know somebody from Billings. Girl I went to school with.
Some might think that's a big change, but not Niners head coach Kyle Shanahan.
Real similar in terms of how they play the game. They're extremely how people can distribute the ball. I don't know who has the faster 40. Brock can take over there, but scrambler. But they're very close to someone.
Meanwhile, Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill, no comment to domestic abuse allegations made against him by his estranged wife.
You can go to Crushers?
Tell me about my coffee.
He wants out of Miami still.
Like I said, man, I'm blessed to be there, dog. Each and every day, come out and say hi. I'm going to continue to work.
Oh, it's chilly overnight.
I'm just going to Asheville. Whatever happens, I'm
Brittle.
I'm happy that I love it. My family's
Checking college football, 22nd ranked Indiana, a 73-0 win over Indiana State. Fernando Mendoza, 19 of 25 touchdowns passing. He added another on the ground. Elsewhere, Syracuse blasted Colgate 66-24. Houston 36, Colorado 20 over Kansas State 23-17. And New Mexico an easy win over UCLA 35-10. For baseball, Giants keep rolling, beat the Dodgers 5-1 in 10 innings. Patrick Bailey, the walk-off grand slam. San Francisco now Houston back to the Mets for the final NL wild card. New York lost to the Rangers 8-3. The Mariners tied atop the AL. Seattle a 2-1 win over the Angels. They shut out the Rays 20-0. Rockies doubled up the Padres 4-2. The Cardinals 8-2. Aaron Judge home run number 47. Yankees 4-1 win over the Red Sox. Home run number 362 of Judge's career. Moving on. Blue Jays a 6-1 win over the Orioles, and the Marlins 8-2 win over the Tigers. Harris Truman left that game with set for more tests. I'm Gordon Denver. This is the Infinity Sports Network. Check out our new and improved website at infinitysportsnet.com. That's infinitysportsnet.com.
Shaggy, how's it going, bud?
We had lots of problems with our rental until we handed the property management over to Hope Street. Since then, it's been like night and day. And we've actually referred you to family friends.
Become an armchair landlord at Hope Street. Visit HopeStreet.ca. Free online rental
Bucket and a rototilt or a wrist or a swivel or whatever the hell you want to call it.
In a meeting.
And we're just doing this one.
I'm worried. Working yourself with options or working me. You're doing important things. Remember, you are nature, right? Reconnect@naturenow.ca. It's up to us.
A message from Nature Agency.
Now that we're back in the swing of things, we're also back to this. It's me, but you save a whole lot of frustration with Gallery Locking Grid. Their wireless keypad solution allows you to get in anyone you need, no matter where you are. Whether it's your kids, cleaners, dog walkers, you're in control and can give access remotely. They even have multi-family solutions. Find out more about wireless keypads at CalgaryLockandSafe.com. At Calgary Co-op, we're always bringing you great deals and expert advice. A wide selection of proposals, things of the world, and everything in between. And now, a little sidebar for members. Members, you also get app exclusive.
These ones are glued onto the actual section. Sometimes it sticks to the asphalt. So the
November 25th on City TV.
My job is taking care of victims.
Powerhouse Drama. One exciting night. One to organized crime return.
Are we gonna let the killer walk free?
Metric Canada. Somewhere. Available on centimeters last. You're on Sportsnet 960 The Fan.
It's only a Sports Network. On this wonderful Saturday. We have Canelo Alvarez going up against Terrence Crawford. This is probably the biggest fight since Pacquiao Mayweather. Maybe in terms of excitement, you would say Mayweather's threat is certainly not the same for this fight that it was for the last one. But in terms of these two equally skilled prize fighters fighting at the absolute highest level on the absolute biggest stage, that's what we have coming up later today. I also think it's very important to know.
Easier
I
to pick up
remember as
there.
a kid, and I know a lot of you
Oh,
have
damn,
a very
thanks, big
similar
fatty.
story. There was nothing like the energy
Appreciate it.
of fight.
Anytime I get a super chat, that's what I do. I'm buying boys coffee.
But no, for those of you that are old enough to remember,
We get more than
everybody
coffee,
together to
and
watch
it turns to
Mike
beer.
Tyson or those early Floyd Mayweather
Appreciate it,
fights,
man.
to watch
Thank you.
Oscar De La Hoya or Manny Pacquiao. The energy around it was different. I think boxing has realized that the business model that they have had for ages is not still that you can easily go on the internet and steal their product. If your model is based on getting individual customers to pay $50 or $60 a piece to watch your product, then your product is not going to go out there. That implies we've seen the WWE move to the model, and they've been in this model for quite some time, whether it's with the WWE Network, whether it's with Peacock now, the relationship that they have with ESPN. We now see that UFC is about to move out this model as well, moving over to CBS and Paramount Plus. UFC DAZN is now moving over with their pay-per-view fight. I mean, it's the biggest fight in the world. Biggest fight in 10 years is going to be available on Netflix. How do you think that you can get these to now pay $50 to watch another boxing match? I know that Jake Paul isn't in the conversation that we're talking about in terms of being the best fighter in the world, but he's also fighting on Netflix. So it's a subscription that I already paid for to watch whatever documentary they got
got going on right now, I can give live fighting at the absolute highest level. Yeah, pay-per-view is over. Business model has changed. If you're looking at this fight, and we'll get to the NFL in just a bit, we are talking about an absolute legacy fight for both of these fights. If you are Canelo Alvarez, you have essentially fought everybody from your era. You fought against Floyd Mayweather. You just fought Terence Crawford. Like, if we are going through gee, you have a great because if we are talking about who Canelo Alvarez has been, his speed and the body of work that he has put together, if he wins this fight tonight, you have to look at him as one of the greatest fighters that we've ever seen. He's already there, winning this fight on this stage. The first fight in a football stadium in Las Vegas, going next to it, maybe the biggest fight we've seen in 20, 30 years or so, it puts you in a different category. Same thing with Terence Crawford. He's not a star. He is a conquering star for sure. He is not a star. He's not what Oscar De La Hoya was. He's not what Pacquiao was. He's not what Floyd Mayweather was. If you win this fight, you become a star. And you elevate yourself in that conversation. What's the biggest fight that Terence Crawford won? Probably Errol Spence a couple of years ago. Maybe you want to go Sean Porter, and he's had big fights. And I'm not so cold but I'm saying he doesn't have that marquee signature win that the casual fan that only tunes into boxing 1-2 times a year can really identify with. That's this one. They know Canelo. He is the #1 draw in the sport right now. I can't wait for it. Tonight in Las Vegas, it's going to be an exciting bout, and we're here to get you ready for it on the Infinity Sports Network. Let's talk about the opportunity this week in the National Football League, and it just so happens to be in my backyard. I think this is the game of the week in the National Football League. Now, sure, maybe some of the luster and allure is because the Chiefs are not 1-0 and how they perform on Friday night against the Chargers. But this is still a big game with two of the 5 best teams in the National Football League, in my opinion. One thing that is very interesting is it carried over from the offseason. This is not just a reaction to what happened against the Chargers. It's a continuation of what happened in the Super Bowl against the Eagles. I'm going to play some audio for you guys from Rob Gronkowski. I think a lot of people around the league feel this way about the Kansas City Chiefs. This is what Gronk had to say with KS.
What I was surprised about is when things aren't going their way, as you can see, when they start struggling a little bit, they start yelling at each other. Their blame game starts going on. You see them on the sideline. And that's not a good situation. I mean, you want to come together and things that way you play. You want to come together to figure out why it's not going the way it needs to go. So see them starting to point fingers. That's a good sign. They got to, incorporate on and get on the same page and not be blaming others. Remember Mike Tyson versus Buster Douglas? Buster Douglas finally beat the crap out of Mike Tyson and made Mike Tyson not invincible anymore. Well, that's the same situation. The Philadelphia Eagles opened the floodgates last year in the Super Bowl. We're not afraid of this super Kansas City Chiefs. Very, very well known. Last year had that fear on the Chiefs. We give them our best shot. They're so low, and everyone is, is talking about them. So the Philadelphia Eagles punched them in the face. The Chiefs didn't know how to react to that because no one else was doing that. Well, going into this year now, the Los Angeles Chargers punched them in the face. The Chiefs were like, whoa, how do we react? Well, they didn't know how to react because no one was doing that before. So the Philadelphia Eagles opened that floodgate of, hey, if you punch these guys in the face, if you take it to them, you come out swinging, they're going to fall, and they're not going to be the team that you've been seeing all last year.
That was Rob Gronkowski. He was on his way at him, getting you ready for week 2 matchup between the Chiefs and the Eagles. I don't know if Gronk is right or wrong. I think what he's saying certainly has some merit. I do believe that we saw the Chiefs get punched back in February, and they saw their own blood for the first time in a long time, and were kind of shell-shocked by it and didn't really know how to respond. We wouldn't be having this conversation if the Chiefs had lost 31-24, but when you get handled the way the Chiefs got handled, it's kind of hard to
Well, we
avoid
got some of it out before
when
it
you
went to
come
shit,
out and
but-
start slow against who people are telling you is the #1 contender in your division, and they also were a team
not
that
Union.
punched you back and you didn't really seem to equip. We can talk about
Everybody
injuries
else
and all of
around
those
me
things. The
is,
Chargers
but
are not
I
a
ain't.
completely healthy team either. They lost their left tackle. Offensive line continued to flourish. They continued to perform really well.
Guys.
Maybe you disagree with Gronk in Ron's opinion. Maybe you
I'll
may.
be joining you.
But I firmly believe that's how people in the league are starting to discussing and feel about the
Sometimes
team.
they're
A little bit of front runners. They're great when things are going well. If you can get them down, if you can cover them, if you can take away some of the options of Patrick Mahomes, you can kind of limit that team. I think the league feels that the Chiefs were kind of fortunate last year with a toe out of bounds, or a missed kick, or a block kick, or an illegal procedure call. And the Chiefs were a team that were kind of fortunate in those one-score games, and now the pendulum is swinging the other way. I want to point you to what Elliot Shore-Parks had to say, because he echoes a lot of what you just heard from Rob Gronkowski.
Just the reality of where the Chiefs are at. They're obviously one of the best teams in NFL history. I think that Andy and Patrick Mahomes still have a very strong argument for being the top quarterback head coach duo in the league. But I think these fans also need to be honest about what the product on the field looks like for the past year. If the Chiefs, after last year, they did not play well overall. I think you would probably agree with that. A lot of one-score games, a lot of games that, you're probably not going to win consistently, and they did it. And credit to them for that. But they have not looked like a dominant team for a long time. In the biggest game they played last year, they got absolutely embarrassed. They went to Brazil last week and lost to a Chargers team that consistently loses big games. And if they lose the home opener and a chance to even up their record as opposed to going 0-2, I don't think the Chiefs have that mystique anymore. I'd probably be more afraid to go play Buffalo. I might be more afraid to go play Baltimore. And that hasn't been the case for a really long time. So I really think their Sunday is about predicting if they go the Chiefs or if they're just a team with a good quarterback and head coach and a bad roster.
I agree a lot of what Elliot Shore-Parks has to say there at the end. This is the second time in Mahomes' career in which the Chiefs have been underdogs in a home game. The expectation is, A, Arrowhead is usually the advantage, and Patrick Mahomes is usually the advantage. Vegas is telling you, despite having both of those things, they still think Philadelphia is the better team and can win this game. The Chiefs have been showered with all the love and all the praise, as you should, as a team that is playing 5 of the last 6 Super Bowls, as a team that has gone to 3 straight Super Bowls and won 2 of them, and deserve all of the positive press that they have received over the last half-decade. They have been the team of the 2020s, no question about it. This is the first time in a while in which people are openly doubting the Chiefs and don't know if they still have it anymore. The crown that the Chiefs have worn on their heads for the last 5-6 years. People are telling you they think it's a little bit tarnished. The beautiful thing about sports is, eventually, the talking ends, and you have to go prove it on the field. Big take this week, my big stance this week is, I want to see the Chiefs look like when their back is up against the wall. We talk a lot of times about those John Wick games from Patrick Mahomes, and override dead body, and revenge, and hearing all the outside noise, and keep taking notes and remembering those things. I mean, we can go through a laundry list. I could give you an AM1 mixtape full of people who are currently doubting the Chiefs and feel like the run is over. Sunday, the really good test. This is a team that embarrassed you in the Super Bowl, a team that you know very well, a team that can dominate you up front, can dominate you on the defensive side of the ball, that has the perceived better roster than you. What kind of fight do you have? What kind of theater do you have? How do you come out in this game? For the criticism about the Chiefs and you being able to put them down and them not being able to get themselves back up will only continue to get louder. The only way to end this conversation, to quiet all the noise around them, is to go on the field. and go dominate and beat one of these teams. No one's saying you got to beat the
there a
Eagles
piece up
31
there,
to nothing.
dude?
But can the Chiefs win this game 27-17 and prove to everybody that they're still the best team in the National Football League? But maybe you don't feel like you have to prove that. It's week 2 of the NFL season. You're a little bit banged up. The Chiefs are usually a team that gets better as the season progresses. Well, I'm not pressing the panic button if they lose this, but I think it's pretty clear that I think players around the league, teams around the league feel like, hey, Philadelphia showed you that you can get this team down. You can push Kansas City, you can be physical in Kansas City, you can do these certain things, and we don't think they have the ability to punch back. I started the week with saying, if you are a team that doesn't have knockout power and you can only win the fight off points, it has put yourself in a very dangerous position. It puts yourself in a position where it's 3rd and 14 and you've got to make this one play to be able to win. And the Chiefs have been in that situation, which feels like for the last year and a half, where it's one play here, one play here, one play here. I want to see them go
What
out,
signal is he
play
gonna get?
well,
I'm not
and
fucking
really,
watching
really
anybody.
show that they're the best team in the
He's
National
not there to
Football
give me
League.
hand
And there's
signals.
no better team to do it against other than the perceived best team in the
Fucking 5
National
degrees
Football
out.
League.
Probably
We got a
like
great weekend of college football coming up later today. We also have one of the biggest fights that we've seen in a while coming up later today on Netflix. Really excited for that matchup. OC, you know I appreciate you, man. I appreciate your help. I want to remind you guys that this portion of the show is sponsored by Wesley Financial. Are you starting a timeshare? Are you want out? Well, contact the Wesley Financial Group now and get a free timeshare exit information kit at wesleyfinancialgroup.com. I'll be back next week to recap the fights, to recap week 2 of the NFL season, to recap the college football season, and keep on pushing along. I truly appreciate you guys making me a part of your Saturday each and every week. My name is Terrence Harrison. This has been the Harrison Radio.
Whoa.
On the Infinity Sports Network. Take care, everybody. When you've been injured in an accident, you call the personal injury lawyers at McDonald's Personal Injury Lawyers, formerly Zimmer's Law. The name is Zimmer, but the level of care and service you receive remains unchanged. They'll help you navigate the difficult and stressful process of your claim. They'll work with you to ensure you get the best compensation possible. They offer service in several languages, and there's no cost until a settlement is reached. Book your free consultation today at mac.ca. That's MAC.ca.
Hearing well is important at every age.
Okay, class, let's open our books to page 76.
If you have kids, now's the perfect time to get them tested. Add a visit with Soundwave Hearing Care to your fall routine. Regular hearing evaluations
He's fucking full, man.
detection of hearing issues and can really help your kids down the line. With an incredible team of expert audiologists, Soundwave Hearing Care is proud to create a comfortable environment for adults and kids. Find out more at
We're also gonna
soundwavehearing.com.
put it.
Swinging a fly ball. Deep right field.
It's your home for the Blue Jays. Baseball season is the grind, but we've got you covered. Catch the Jays report every weekday afternoon. Your quick recap of the latest action, a preview of what's next, and exclusive interviews with Jays players and coaches. The Blue Jays report, brought to you by the Heating Ninja. Stay cool all summer long. Pre-order your AC installation today at heatingninja.com. This is Sports 960 The Fan. Hi, I'm Kelly Temple from Eastside. And I'm Kurt Temple from Philadelphia. Welcome to the 2025 Premier PHEV Silverado. With a $1,000 bonus, you can $99 a week plus GST for $0 down. That's great, Dad, but this month there's something even bigger happening. Our second annual fundraiser for the Alberta Children's Hospital Foundation. How can I forget? It was just 3 Christmases ago that your daughter, my granddaughter, spent a week in treatment at the Alberta Children's Hospital.
Thankfully, everything turned out fine, but it made me realize how lucky we are to have the Alberta Children's Hospital and all the incredible people who work and volunteer. We sure are.
Just like last September, we're donating a portion of every vehicle purchase, every vehicle service to the Alberta Children's Hospital Foundation.
Oh, we gotta replace that one too.
$36,000, but we can't do it without. So drop by Eastbank Kia or Sill Trail Kia anytime this month to join our cause or make a donation. We want to see you. Is your home ready for anything Mother Nature throws at it? All the heating ninja. Healthy HVAC Pros. Right now, it's our free AC service and install special. We'll tune up your system, boost efficiency, and keep your home comfy year-round. Fast, friendly, no surprises. Look today at theheatingninja.com and let your comfort be our mission. Contact us today for a free estimate. Visit theheatingninja.com. Alpine Health Network is here live with one of our superheroes. The Testers are a hockey family, growing kids need food and some a proper kitchen. I was sent by Alpine Credits to help with a home renovation though. I introduced these young athletes to my superhero strength testing diet. Just consult the doctor before eating 380 minutes. Plenty of room in that new kitchen though. Own your home, need a loan, Alpine Credits.
Alpine Credits, where home is living with diabetes. Think pharmacist. Your pharmacist will help make it easier and, if appropriate, offer services like on-site A1C average blood sugar testing, lifestyle support, and more. Book an appointment today at shoppersdrugmart.ca/diabetes.
Make your home way more you. No matter your space or budget, Wayfair's got every style for every home. Modern? Check. Classic? Check. Coastal with a hint of boho? Check. Shop now at wayfair.ca.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Thursday, September 25th on City TV.
Taking care of victims.
No shit, eh, Brandon? This is Calgary, Alberta.
Exciting night.
Wonderful little fucking water flows down the word.
And organized crime return.
Are we gonna let the kids walk free?
That's not the labor. That's not the law. This won't all day. The other guy is the truck driver. He's the owner operator.
Broadcasting from the Groundwork Studios, downtown Calgary. The official home of the Calgary Flames, a Rogers Sports and Media radio station. You're listening to The Big Show with George Russick and Matty Rose on Sportsnet 960, The Fan.
But the rookie camp went down yesterday. We got a broadcast tonight. Flames and Oilers from Edmonton. Prospect v. Prospect. Tonight from Edmonton, and then we'll have it on the radio station, and Sunday they'll play here at the Dome. Go. $10.
Yeah,
All goes to
these
Flames
guys
Foundation. Great stuff.
are laborers.
4 o'clock on Sunday. Eric Francis, our
The
pal,
second I
franchise
turned the
orthopedic Matty,
music
about
on,
the darling of last year's preseason.
it all gets
Sam Honda,
demonetized.
let's
So.
not forget, at 19 years old, made the team out of 10.
Usually in the morning, I just listen to talk. Afternoon, I listen to
Never got
whatever
back
the hell I
on track.
want.
Last season. Yeah, he had some good moments down in the AHL, but it wasn't dominant, I would say. Sure. He is the 16th overall pick in the 23 draft. He is the highest overall in the Flames organization of their dozen, drafted players at the prospect camp. He's 16th overall.
The wife's gonna give him the kids, and she's gonna go out. She's gonna be sick of the kids. Fuck, here you go. Fuck, see you later. Going over to my sister's.
That's what that was. So he's 6'4".
I need a vacation.
He's now close to 210. 6'10". Oh, he's a large human being. Yeah, he's been working all off. I hope it's free on the road.
First one, yeah.
What are your expectations for Sam Honda this year? Like I said, could be the darling again for him. I can see him being a sweeter guy, kind of goes up and down. He's going to have some flexibility with his contract as a guy that you can move up and
There's still that bus pad, isn't there?
Talked about it a lot, right? Like, kind of guy you put in
Right on.
when you look at the roster. So, he's probably going to need some injuries
said, can he push some guys for a job? Probably. Are there many names on here that you can see not being on the roster and Honzik getting ahead of? I don't know.
The truck driver's
Possible signing extension, but he's got one more year on his deal. I think we know the presence that Ryan Lomberg brings whenever he's playing. And I don't know if Honzik's doesn't want to be on your fourth line either. I can see him just being like the bell cow down with the Wranglers and being a very, very strong player for them. He could get a little more work at center. Yeah, he's just a guy. Play at time.
Good thing no one underneath the
They're going to have some veterans down there. For the most part, it's going to be a pretty young Wranglers team this year. And as a guy who was in that league for all last season, there's going to be even some newer players who are going to kind of have to rely on him and understand that he can show them the ropes just a little bit. So I still think that their ceiling there. I'm looking forward to trying to see and I think that putting on muscle is a big thing for him because as much as he was a tall guy, he's pretty lanky.
Welcome to Calgary, Alberta.
You know, as the year went on, I would say he got more physical, but it's definitely not the trademark of his game. He's got some slick hands, he's got good speed, he scored beautiful breakaway goals down with the Wranglers, but that's kind of my expectation is that he would start the year down in the AHL and try and dominate it.
I love how much work these fucking square face curves are for the form setters.
Is he just gonna whip a U-turn at the light? Is he just gonna do a U-turn at the light, or? Okay, no. Okay, good. Good. A little scared there for a second. This is like, fuck, no, don't do it. Watch the news. No U-turns. No U-turns. Unless there's a giant sign that says U-turns here. Don't do a U-turn.
Yeah, she's not too bad here in Alberta these days. I'm busy, so it's been a pretty quiet year. Like work's been busy, but not much happening in Canada these days. All the excitement is down south. This is Calgary, Alberta. Oh, about 5 minutes away from the Calgary airport here, 10 minutes away, depending on traffic, I guess. The worst part is there's a Tim Hortons right beside me, so it's just traffic non-stop. Fuck, there's a sweet tundra. What the fuck? Some special package on it. There he is.
Game for himself in the NHL.
The football
Separate himself. He's more of a defensive type-minded guy. I think maybe he did show that in his first year pro. He's a month so that's gone all the way over there. But is there another tool to your game that he kind of shows back from where? Well, I'm not direct everything. I don't know if you but I saw you did pretty good. big of them. Right. You guys take a huge look at the regular lineup. And then eventually when Raptor Anderson does get traded, that opens up the spot. No, you still have Joel Hanley here, also going on with the other guys. Well, you got three guys that are NHL players, and three guys that you don't even know if they are. Well, I'm not convinced that they are just yet. Like Joel Hanley, God bless him, 40 was last year. Are you ready to run that back right away? Or are you really going to be able to run it? Are you going to run it back? Sure, yeah, you're going to try it. Yeah. But, you know, as far as the way that he's able to do it all year, that he's able to play injuries now here, that could help. Could play more insane. But the expectation is a little daunting. Yeah, but honestly, like, I think Hanley is what he is. The guys that I do wonder could actually get those for jobs here are Coffee and Neil Miramon and Brady Football. That like all of it. So do I, but I had a feeling here about it. So do I, but for most of the time, especially as the year went on, when that team was struggling, he was not part of the team. Even then, even when he came down the third pair, there were nights that third pair had a lot of trouble in the second half. Yep. And that really definitely was on board. How much is Miramon getting the look, the fact that both the players and it's a deal? I think we gave us a year last year. Let's talk about money. I know, but I mean, like, if this was somebody else, you know, even up, he would probably be gone by now. Because he requires the video, he needs to try to get something better. What do you do? I don't know, for the most part, is that all their parents want to do it. Marginal any sort of that. Yeah. We're talking about that when you're part of it. I'm not going to say that the heart, but we want to be on the low end on the they only consider that. But they also rely on it. The first round pick they got was the same to get out of that. Sure. I just nearly got that. You didn't score that big goal, I think you just do it all once again.
This truck driver is just
And do we realize that play out the play a little bit? Neil Miramon loves to do the same thing. And he's got a couple of guys that
they're all cracked and damaged.
like, do you
This
want
road's still
someone
owned
to
by
play
the
like that
the developers, so we're fixing it all before they get to the top of the asphalt. Any cracks or any damage, it's all gonna be replaced before the city will take it over.
Incorrect, a way better option if you're going to go for someone who has that type of mentality on a third pair. I would say so. But
Some of it is just middle sand.
maybe this guy is starting to do it. He got built like 5 years ago. He just didn't dominate down there. Be a real good player down on Wrangler seems to be played on. And this guy, but he's got his correct shot out of the start. I would not mind that at all. Bob Stoffer, he is Oilers color commentator, local Oilers now in 880 Chet, joining us here on the Atlas Pizza and Sports Park at Collins, Sportsnet 960. We're about 10 minutes into the interview. We haven't mentioned Connor McDavid. That's essentially why we wanted to have you on today. How much hand wringing is going on right now in Edmonton that he doesn't have an extension to take off?
I would say I'm not one of those guys, and people can say, well, Sophie, you're done. This is your entertainment group, but I 100% believe that McDavid will, re-sign some form of an extension. It probably isn't going to be an 8-year extension. It seems that I have a personal as long as Connor said it, like, I don't think he certainly can win the playoffs over the last 4 years. It's not even close to the top 3 scoring players by a mile. But I think Kevin Keith's got the best trio in the league. Leon started last year. Leon was the best skater in the league. When we go, would have been closer to points, but he missed, 11 games. Still, like, with goals in 53 minutes, scored 60 goals last season. He's become a better player. Disappointed this season last year. The Oilers couldn't score in the first 10 years of the season. They went from first 6 to 11 goals for. I'd
just, I'm not saying they're going to get back to the final, but I am saying that essentially one of another one side vision that they're going to have. There's just some things that are sliding against them that I think they're going to have a little greater depth, a little bit more greatness in people. But I foresee a two-year extension for Contenders. So I'm not that, at minimum a 2-year day because Carlos won. You know the Panthers over the next 3 years. I'm not one of these guys who's going to be so there's going to be a massive jump in that. I'm a little bit concerned about the fact that one, college, and when it's through the top 6, that's going to be going to take. Not only because of our person, we know come from there, but also the fact we're given a lot of regional college deals. Some pairs, like the gallery guys or whatever, so I'm going to be really interested. But I see a David did a 4-year, yeah. I see the senior, yeah. 8 years, maybe that's not, but I think if you take a look at the track record, it's at multi-race agents. Austin Matthews signed, coming out of the bid, last 5 years and a 4-year deal as well. Each other's amazing, so I think Contenders actually freaked out if it's not a 7 or 8 year extension. I do obviously know him a lot better than Fleetwood, but when he said it might have been long-term, short-term, long-term, doesn't that feel a little calculated? Well, you got to play the cause, still needs to live long-term, short-term, long-term. That was interesting. I look at sort of horse-backs and guys, so, I moved into downtown every day because my family moved out to West End, and it was interesting because, I'm
Good morning, everybody. Thanks, Napoleon, and Kelso, and Raymond, Willie, Mad
availabilities of any of the players.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Like and subscribe.
Right? Like, once you get into training camp, you got to do that stuff. He's not talking to anybody.
Get him over a bit, yeah.
He's going to talk. He's on the phone, assisting in the recruitment of Andrew Monty.
If we win the lottery, I want my fucking part. Like, we're cutting everybody out who doesn't pay is getting cut. Fuck you.
I think, and guys, remember the 2015 lottery when the owners were people were making you're standing up on the spot, it's like people were trying to read off these guys. So, he's a pretty committed guy. I can tell you right now, he's a lot more than he did the last couple of seasons. He just said he's going to do it, and he's going to do it. And,
But anyway, he's not a fucking roadblock off.
even not the one players that there's two players on the team that are pretty small, so it takes a little while. That's why I'm at various different times. He's just so good on something else. With all sorts of we'll lose or at times. My son, Jim, was in a particular basis. He's got it, and anybody participating or he's got to put it up. It's there, family club, I really want to know the organization has a chance to win. 3 or 4 years from now, when the organization's done everything they possibly have to build a winning team. You just mentioned the lack of draft picks. That's all they've got to get done. They stand up on the world, and they win it every time. So Jim was saying that he wants to make sure the team's competitive. But also this team has done a ton to get into that chance to actually win it every time. Obviously, falling short in the last 2 seasons doesn't help. But how tough is that, Bob, when you want one thing, but they also show them in the past that now, if you don't have any possible, it's just incredibly hard. But you need the assets to do that in order to really have that, because they have been trying to get well, what did they have? Like, when they were 23 number 1, get out home. Come out of another contract for 20 years. They were 24 number 1. You know, it's a Howard. He's going to be a guy we're watching closely this year. They moved, I guess that was, sorry, the 24 number 1 was getting 27 years, 25
Doing good, Chevy. How you doing, man?
The chances that he doesn't have an extension by the trade deadline. I'll be stunned if that happens, but I'm going to be honest with you guys. I thought he was going to be signed by
Another Saturday.
So,
Just starting to get busier around here. Everybody else is waking up.
already. But I'm not that worried about it. You know, there were some teams had 5 months of an off-season. Others had
Another
his
day.
brother got married.
Lots of hours this week, though.
So, you know, Connor's is a big part of it.
Not bad.
You know, then he got pushed back, but they looked good. He's comfortable with it. You know, we'll see how it, I do know this. They started the year 2-9-1 2 years ago. And then we're the best team in the league. They had a strength of, 24-3. They had a crappy in their last 4-3. The save percentage on the penalty kill was like 30% for the first 5 games last year. And then in November 7th and February 7th, they were the best record in the NHL. He wants to be better for in the year. And I just try to have a calculator that whatever a little bit of that, just keep the pressure on, let's get going, let's get on. And then it started here, so without having that, you know, it's not too much energy trying to, you know, as the season goes on. I think it's something wrong. I don't necessarily disagree too much with you about eventually he's going to get done, but I think if he doesn't have a contract by Chuck Brown, the distraction around the Oilers in the playoffs are it's going to be certain inquiries down the road, especially in the market. I wanted to ask you, obviously goaltending is going to be key for the Oilers. Steve Skinner's been really good, but also not the starting job is still like a mile to Gavin Pickard. And I know that he had aspirations to come to Indiana, and the Oilers will bounce back and be that guy where he just flashes of brilliance. But we also got to home today that those guys who were accused in that sexual assault hearing who were all found not guilty. One of those guys is Carter Hart. He's a local bullet, guy who played in 2 years. So he's pretty much a sign anywhere. Your boss is the Oilers potentially going to for Carter Hart. I know Carter Hart, and, you know, Sinclair and Carter Hart played against each other. You know, they have to get all of the guys. Carter Hart played in third park, and played for Southside Athletic Club. And I moved in from Sherwood Park to play for Southside Athletic Club, so I can, you know,
Yeah, not cold. It's above 0. Like 10 degrees Celsius or something out. It was like 6 degrees or something when we before it. Still like 26 out there. Summer's over. It's definitely fall here. But we're technically central Alberta, not even northern Alberta. Definitely having chilly mornings. I should almost cut this live and start a new one so that play music and not get the video demonetized. Hey, Marty the Martian, I'm fixing sidewalks. Going around, there's chipped and cracked sidewalks, and we're picking them out, replacing them. bucks out of this something. You know that where all those guys are working. I already did all that. Where that truck's parked is where I'm going next.
Check out the
they're the first ones to make their robot and look what you need, like cute toys. Shop at London Drugs, your go-to for fall.
You're listening to The Big Show with George Russick and Matty Rose on 960 The Fan.
He is the voice of the Florida Panthers on the Panthers Radio Network on the Atlas Speaking Sports Broadcast Hotline. We take good morning to Doug Blake. Hey, Doug, how are you?
Doing great. What's going on, guys? Thanks for having me.
No problem. Thanks for coming on. 3 straight years before you get to choose. You're totally cool with that, right?
Yeah, absolutely love it. Good problem.
About that, but it does really make you appreciate even more just how special these athletes are. Because, I mean, I'm tired, and I notice that there's not much of an off-season sometimes the way things have been going. But the Panthers group has just hit the ice on a mission each of the last 3 seasons, and they don't let these short off-seasons cause any sort of fatigue or anything that we notice. So it's really special to see what these guys are able to accomplish.
Doug, we kind of mentioned it earlier on in the show about that outside the broadcast season the Panthers talked about. If I would have told you before game 1 of that series that the Panthers would end up going to the final and winning back-to-back cups, you would have said what?
Well, I'll tell you this. First of all, I would say that sounds amazing because we all know how difficult it is to win the Stanley Cup. But you really can't. I'm glad you brought that up. You really can't tell the story of this era of the Florida Panthers. And when it's all said and done, years and years from now, you're not going to be able to tell the story of this era of the National Hockey League without looking back to that first-round series. And the Panthers went into the playoffs, obviously having to earn their spot in the final days of the regular season. But if you look at the second half of that year, they played really well in the second half. And they had a record in the last 45 or so games of that year that was right on par with teams like Toronto, like Carolina, who they saw during that.
I'll have Bruins on later. This is Calgary, Alberta.
So they were, yes, the 8th seed. They were the last team in the Eastern Conference, but they were a better opponent than your typical 8th seed. There was no question about it. Got into that series against Boston, and everything just really changed, whether it was Brad Marchand being stopped on that breakaway by Sergei Bobrovsky, or after Game 5 win, when Matthew Tkachuk said, "Remember this dressing room because we're going to be back here for Game 7." People forget Game 6 and how wild that game was. It was a high-scoring affair in South Florida, and then of course Carter Verhaeghe scoring the overtime winner in Game 7. And I still think back to the mood inside Team Garden as that Game 7 was heading into overtime, and it's easy for me to say now, but as far as I was concerned, the Panthers had that thing in the bag. They tied the game with a minute left, and I have never been in a arena where I felt more of a nervous tension than that scene in Boston that night going into overtime. It was absolutely quiet. That Bruins team kind of took on that, tense feeling, and the Panthers looked like the team that was ready to win a hockey game, which they did, and then ended up going on to the final. And we saw kind of that hockey really develop and come into full force that they've shown the last couple of years on their run to the Stanley Cup. So I'm glad you brought that up because, like I said, it's not just the Panthers. You really can't tell the story of the National Hockey League in the last few years without looking at that first-round series. Now, to go on the playoff runs, you guys get injured, and one of the guys that's certainly starting the year on the IR is Matthew Tkachuk. And can you just tell us a little bit about his timeline and what the expectation is for him to return to this lineup? Right now, there's $4.5 million over the cap, throwing him on LTIR will solve that for regular season. But when you bring him back, there's going to be some decisions that have to be made.
Well, as far as updates of that nature, not trying to dance around your question, but I really don't have any further update other than what's out there. But fortunately, we're only, about a week or so away, actually less than a week at this point, hard to believe, from getting going on the ice, media availabilities, where we're certainly going to be able to potentially learn more. So we're still kind of in a wait and see on that. But I think if there's one thing that has been a key attribute for this Panthers team, I guess two things that kind of go hand in hand.
it's depth and continuity. And going into last season, the Panthers returned their 8 leading scorers, most of the roster that has won the Cup in 2024. And going into this year, they're returning even more of the lineup that just came off winning the Stanley Cup. So obviously, if he's out for any period of time, that's those are impossible skates to fill absolutely seamlessly. But if there's any team that's equipped to deal with the loss of, the temporary loss of a key player, it is this Panthers group in the way that it's constructed. So, we'll wait and see as far as the timeline and things like that go. But one thing that's for certain is if there's any team in the league that's equipped to be without a key player for a while, it's the Panthers team. How surprised were you that you were able to keep Marchand, Bennett, and Aaron Ekblad?
Well, at the end of it, honestly, I had a good feeling about it. It just goes back to how much these guys want to be plain and simple. A culture has been built that the players here just really want to be part of it. And that was kind of what Leo alluded to after everything happened, and he spoke to the media, and he said the players built it. And, you have a group of guys now, I believe 10 players who are signed through at least 2030. So you're looking at, about half of this roster, and key players. You go up and down the roster, key players who are, signed for the better part of the next 5 to 7 years or so in the case of some of them. So it's a group that's just really come together in the best of ways, and plain and simple, a culture that guys want to be a part of. And I think when you talk about the culture of this team, Brad Marchand is really the perfect example of how strong this culture is. Because getting back to talking about the Panthers and the Bruins, I think there was a 2-year span there, and I don't know if you guys felt it as much being out in the Western Conference and being out west, but there was a 2-year span where Panthers Bruins was arguably the angriest, nastiest rivalry in the National Hockey League, and it was fueled by a couple of playoff series and some regular season matchups that had everything you'd expect from playoff games. So you had certainly some venom between the Panthers and the Boston Bruins. And you had Brad Marchand, who was right in the middle of some of what made those series, those playoff series nasty, going from one side of the rivalry to the other. And the way that he fit in so seamlessly, it was impressive. It showed just, first of all, I know that it might be tough for fans of 30 other teams to wrap their heads around, but I can't say enough about how engaging, approachable, what a great teammate, what an upstanding guy Brad Marchand is. And he walked right into the dressing room. He fit in immediately, not only on the ice because of his high hockey IQ, but because he's just a really, really nice guy and a really fun guy to have around. He blended in with his new teammates perfectly, and that right there was kind of a perfect example of just how strong this Panthers culture is. A guy can go from one side of arguably the nastiest rivalry in the league to the other, and his teammates welcome him right in. They know the value that he has to being able to help this team win a Stanley Cup. He certainly showed that last spring, and he fit in perfectly. So, again, it all comes back to the culture that's been built, and certainly credit goes to Bill Zito and Paul Maurice for that, but also and Alexander Barkov. When you have a superstar all-world player like Barkov, who is willing to do absolutely any task that the team needs to be able to win hockey games night to night, it's that much easier for everybody else on the squad to fall in line. So a lot of factors go into it, but with the culture of this team, how much guys want to be a part of it, they're really, at the end of it, wasn't surprised they were able to get it all done.
And really surprising that trade happened pretty much at the end of the trade deadline in the last minute where the Panthers acquired him from the Boston Bruins. I have to ask you, Doug, though, that contract, a 6-year extension for a 37-year-old, feels like there's a bit of an odor to that contract. And I know a lot of fans around the league saying that circumvention of the salary cap, it kind of feels like it a little bit. What's your opinion on that contract? Because it definitely has a bit of an odor to it, Doug.
Well, I tell you, I love it because they got it done. Anything you can do to get it done. I wanted to
clean up next,
I'll
or
tell you this, when
when Brad Marchand was acquired, you're obviously...
Okay, I'll just go sit in there then.
Your thinking is, you know, this is,
Okay.
regardless of how
Go this way?
short or long his stay is, I want to
Okay.
take this in for all we can because this,
Nice.
this could be a very special time. And by the end of the playoffs, and not just because the Panthers won the Stanley Cup, by the end of the playoffs, I wasn't ready to see Brad Marchand
Get a little break. We'll play some tunes when we get back. I'm gonna get my second phone set up here, hooked onto my speaker. Yeah, no, here at least we have space. Yeah. But I'm gonna take a break. Holy crap. An hour and 20 minutes straight. Damn. Thanks for watching, everybody. Well, go check out my channel, like and subscribe. This is Calgary, Alberta, GH. Canada. Western Canada. Right on, Will. I'll be back in about 20 minutes, half hour. We'll get some tunes going. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in a bit.